The Marianas Trench by Vincent Torres. We will now travel to the Marianas Trench and dive down to the deepest point on Earth, the Challenger Deep.
Initiating satellite scan.
The Challenger Deep measures 36,070 feet from the surface of the ocean down to the bottom of the ocean floor. Here we see a map of the plate's regions across the globe. The Pacific and the Philippine plate are responsible for the creation of the Marianas Trench. As the plates are pushing into one another, mountain ranges and trenches are formed. The Pacific and the Philippine plate create what's known as a subduction zone. To get an idea of a subduction zone, watch this short clip. We will now explore the bottom of the Marianas Trench. As we continue to descend, light starts to disappear. At 1,000 meters down, the ocean becomes as dark as nightfall. As we go further down, the ocean temperature decreases and the pressure around us increases. The Marianas Trench is a crescent-shaped trough with a crust length of about 2,550 kilometers and a width of 69 kilometers. Going to such depths of the water, many would believe that the water is very cold. At a depth of 1.6 kilometers below sea level, the water is actually very hot to sustain life forms. These hydrothermal vents, called black smokers, are enriched in minerals for the marine life. The water here is above boiling, but with the enormous amount of pressure, the water doesn't boil at these depths.
This deep depression is named after the British Royal Navy ship HMS Challenger, whose expedition of 1872 to 1876 made the first recordings of its depth.
Many vessels use different methods to measure the depths of the Marianas Trench. The use of sonar was created in 1912, prompted by the Titanic disaster. Sonar uses sound to echo off of an object that bounces back to the device. The device then translates the amount of time it took the echo to come back, and that gives us our distance. The telescope octopus lives at a depth of 100 to 2,000 meters below the water surface and is the size of 30 centimeters. Despite its similar resemblance to the anglerfish that we know that lives in the ocean waters, this anglerfish lives at a depth of 1,000 to 4,000 meters below the sea level and is the size of 15 centimeters long. And last we have the black snout sea snail. It lives in the depths of 200 to 1,692 meters below sea level and it is only the size of 17 centimeters long. As we continue to descend in the Marianas Trench down to the Challenger Deep, we then question, how far down does the deepest point on Earth really go? Well, in order to grasp this idea, watch the next clip in order to get a better detailed idea of how the Marianas Trench is the deepest point on Earth. To get a better understanding of the trench, we will see just how deep the trench really is. Mount Everest is the tallest landform on Earth. When we put the mountain into the trench, we can see that the tip of the mountain is still underwater by about a mile. This depth is known as negative sea level since the measurement is going below sea level. The Challenger Deep is located east off the continent of Asia. What is hydrostatic pressure and how does it affect humans? It is the pressure around you and the weight of the water above you. This pressure squeezes you from all around your body. In this clip, the man shows a simulation of what happens to a human head after it's been exposed to 16,000 pounds per square inch of pressure.
Expose it to the pressure we would see in the Marianas Trench. That's about 16,000 psi.
A human skull would be crushed to a pulp, but the rubbery head will only have all the air squeezed out.
Wow, that's smaller. And here's what the original size was, just for comparison. Quite dramatic. Pretty stark difference between something that hasn't been 7 miles deep in the ocean and something that has. Glad I'm not going there.
In order to protect people that visit the trench, special submarines are built that can withstand the high degree of pressure along with the total darkness. This special submarine was built by a famous director by the name of James Cameron. He used this submarine to go down to the bottom of the trench. Special consideration was taken when building the sub. The submarine had robotic arms that were used to probe and collect samples. The submarine also had huge lights that aided Cameron in filming in the pitch black water. Only 1% of surface light reaches as deep as 200 meters. The ocean is mostly a black abyss. Anything beyond 1,000 meters is a deep sea pitch black world. The anglerfish, however, is capable of living and surviving in these deep waters. This image here depicts the different vessels used to dive to the depths of the Challenger Deep. James Cameron, being the person that dived the deepest, also had the longest trip down to the bottom of the ocean. This also determines the date for March of 2012 when James Cameron went to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. To truly grasp the depths of the Challenger Deep, we must understand that the surface of the water is the starting point and the Challenger Deep is the end point. The next time you are in an airplane, take a look outside your window when you are at 36,000 feet. The distance from you to the ground resembles what the surface of the water to the ocean floor would look like. On January 23, 1960, the Swiss designed the Trieste. It was originally built in Italy and acquired by the U.S. The submarine descended to the ocean floor, manned by Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh. The crew compartment was a spherical pressure vessel.
Things in the depths, things that fill your soul with wonder.
Cousteau said it best. He said, if we knew what was there, we wouldn't have to go.
Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench is the deepest place on Earth, 7 miles straight down. This is the last great frontier of our world. It's my dream to build a machine to take us there.
We're actually going to do things that the governments of the world cannot now do. We're going to do something nobody else can do.
When you dive to the bottom of the ocean, you have to face the fact that there are 100 horrible ways to die. In the event that there is a break in the hatch, the water will bust through.
And I get chummed into a meat cloud in about 2 microseconds.
It's such an internal drive for him. He has to do it.
We're so far from ready, it's not even funny.
We have to pit ourselves against the elements. We've got to dive.
And here we go.
Moment of truth.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Got a lot of failures here. We got a problem.
We need to really know if it's an emergency.
Pretty soon you realize you're in this metal coffin.
The sub is consistently getting weaker and weaker.
Maybe just risks shouldn't be taken. Maybe the consequences to our families are too great.
I'm ready to descend when you are. Over.
Exploration comes with risk, but it's a risk that's worth something. It's that need to see what's there beyond the edge of your lights, to see the unknown for yourself. It's the force that drives all exploration, curiosity,